Hi everyone, welcome back to my DevWeb App channel. Today I'll show you how to create a toast component in React and use it in the project. Let's take a look at this design. As you can see, I added several messages with different types. We have error message, success message, info, and warning message. And if I reload the page, I have more messages that disappear after some time. And at the end, I'm going to add my toast component into weather app and use it inside my application. Let's go to the code and build our component. I launched my Visual Studio Code and opened my weather project, but you can use any project that you want, or you can create a new React and Tailwind project. And now I'm going to create new component and we'll place it inside components folder. And it will be toast JSX. And it will be functional component function toast. Let me add this function. And initially, let's return some JSX. Return and add div and add class name like padding2 and margin2. Make it rounded, and it will be our container for our component. And our component will be pretty simple. I'm going to add span and let's add class name like margin right tool, and we need message inside our props, and using object destructoring I can use my message, extract it from props, and inside span I will provide message. Okay, and now we need export. Now we can use our component inside app.jsx. Let me comment out this component, and I'm going to add my task component class and provide message. And the message will be this. This is a success message. Okay, and as you can see, import was added. And let me start dev server with command npm run dev. Open it in the browser, and as you can see, we have our message. And now we can add type and some styles to it. Okay, and let's return to our toast component, and I'm going to add type. And depending on the type, I'm going to change a background color. Let me add some object or types. Const will be type files, and we'll need success. And for success, I'm going to add background green and 500. And also we need error with a red background. And also we can add info with blue background will be blue. And also let's add warning with background orange. Okay, and now let me hide this panel. And now we can use our styles inside our div or our container. And I'm going to add code here and add my styles. And depending on styles, I need a variable type styles. I'll use my type from props. Okay, and let's check what we have. Okay, and we need to add prop type to our toast component. I'm going to provide success. Let's check again. And we have a green background. And let me provide messages for probably error, this error, 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 and also info. And type will be info, and also warning. And type will be warning. Let's check. Okay, we have our messages, and let's add more styles to them. Inside those component, I'm going to add some text white, and so let's add shadow. Shadow will be large. Okay, and we have white text. And now let's add close button. And I'm going to add button, and it will be X. And let's add class name will be background transparent, and this will set background as we have in container. And when hover, I'm going to change background to white, and also on hover, I'm going to set X black and make it rounded all. Also, we can add some fading one, and let's check what I have. Okay, and we have our close button, and let's hide message by clicking on this button. And for that, I'm going to add state variable and use hook use state. And as you can see, import was added, and initially it will be true. And I'm going to add state variable is visible, and function to modify variable will be that is visible, and assign. Okay, and now if not visible, we can just return null. If our message is not visible, just return null. And by clicking on the button, we need to change our is visible variable, and I'm going to add on click function, and it will change the state for is visible, and we can just add that is visible to false. Okay, and let's check. I'm going to click, and we don't have message, and this, and here, and here. Now I can reload, and we have our messages, and let's make so that our messages disappear after some time. I'm going to go to my component, and for that I need one more prop, and it will be duration, and also I need hook use effect, and I'll implement function, and for dependency I'll use message, and duration. Our function will be called when message or duration is changed, and let's check. If we have message, then we'll set it visible to true, and now we can check if we have duration. Then we can add timer and use JavaScript function set timeout, and now I can provide function, and this function will set visible to false, that is visible to false, and so I need to provide duration to my set timeout. And we need to clear our timeout to prevent some leaks. And I'm going to return function that will call when a component is unmounted. And I'm going to use JavaScript function, clear timeout, and provide ID of our timer. And I need to remove this and paste it here. Okay, and now everything looks good, and we can add duration to our components. Let me just copy paste them and provide some duration, and it will be 2 seconds. And here I'm going to add 3 seconds. And for info will be 4, and for warning 5. Okay, and let's check. And we have our messages, and they are disappearing. And, let's check the message. This is disappearing success message, and also the same for error for info, and for warning. I'm going to save. Let's check. And we have messages. Okay, and now we have only our messages. And let's refresh. Okay, and as you can see, messages disappeared. Let's add some styles to animate our component and align the item. I'm going to add more styles to my container. We add it rounded and also make it white and shadow. And I'm going to add transition and make duration 300, and also me make it length, and specify justify between and align items on top. Okay, and let's check. And we have our messages, and as you can see, we have aligned content. Let me refresh the page and check again, and we have disappearing messages, and I can remove all messages, and everything looks good so far. And now I'm going to add my component inside weather application, and you can check my video about weather application. And now I'm going to just remove all this code because testing purposes to verify our component. And now I'm going to open my weather component, and as you can see, we have some messages here, and I'm going to change them to my task component. Let me do it. Okay, and now I can provide message instead of this text. And message will be loading. And I don't need paragraph here, and can provide just text. And also I need to specify type, and for loading I'm going to add info type. And let's check. And probably we cannot see this message. Let me just make it true. And as you can see, we have our message. Let me add our API loading, because I'm going to show message when API loading as well. And also we have some messages for error, API error. And let me change error to geo error. And also here. And instead of paragraph, I'm going to use my component. and provide message. As message, I'll use the error message, and it will be type warning. Okay, and also I can change message to API error, and here I'm going to add error, and it will be API error message. And let's check what we have so far. And I'm going to provide some city, and here we should see some loading, and it was here. And now I'm going to refresh and disable my location and reload the page. And as you can see, we have a warning about user denied geolocation. Now I'm going to change my URL, weather URL, and check my error. Let me provide city and press search. So we have loading, and we should see error after some time because it tries to reload, and we have network error. And now I'm going to return my normal URL, and we have the weather data, and I can dismiss this message, and let me return my location and reload the page, and we have loading, and I can provide city name and change it to some other city. Okay, and we added our first component into our application, and that's all that I had for today. If you like the video, subscribe to my DevWeb App channel. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.